Hi, this is Cindie Logan, and I want to say good morning to Grace Church. Really miss you guys. I want to share what God has been sharing with me lately, and that is our relationship with Him. Let's go to the Word. Matthew 22, verses 37 through 39. Jesus said, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. A second is equally important: love your neighbor as yourself." Well, how do you love someone that you don't really know? And that's where relationship comes in. If we're going to love God, we need to build our relationship with Him. And as that relationship grows, I believe you'll find three things will happen. First of all, your faith is going to grow. It's like walking down the street. One foot goes forward and then the next. And that's how you move, slowly but surely, but in increments. And our faith works like that with our relationship. As we know God more, our faith is built. And as our faith is built, we know God more. And it just keeps building on each other. So that's one thing that I believe you'll find if you develop your relationship with God. The second is that during this time, there's a lot of fear out there, and we need to use wisdom. But as we grow in faith and our relationship with God, fear is going to fly out the door. Use wisdom, but we should not be walking in fear. The third thing that you'll find, and this is one that's very interesting to me, if you love someone, you get to know their heart and you develop a love for the things that they love. And if we love God with all of our heart, mind, and soul, we're going to love our neighbor as ourselves. And I believe that this is one area that Grace excels in, but I believe He wants to take us even deeper in this. God's going to give us creative ways to love each other and to build on that. And as we do that, and I know that there was a couple in the church that made Easter meal for 50 people, dropped it off at people's houses. That's a creative way to show God's love, to love your neighbor as yourself. And I believe that we're going to get more and more ideas in that area. And another area that, and this is an interesting thing, I believe that there are going to be thousands, literally, of people coming into the kingdom during this time. And so this is going to give us a greater love for these people. And God's going to give us more and more creative ways of mentoring them and helping them along in their faith. And that, as a church, is something that we need to do, is build on each other's faith and encourage each other. So those are three things that I believe are going to come as we build our relationship with Him. And the other point I want to do is talk to the homeschoolers. You know, one of the last things Moses told the Israelites before they went into the promised land was to repeat the stories of God's miracles to their children. If we do that during this time, our children's faith is going to grow as well. You know, we've kind of kicked God out of the schools, but this is a way to really, and it's an opportune time to really help them build in their faith. And there are a lot of Old Testament people, and like Moses, Daniel, Joseph, that really have phenomenal stories. And they were real people. They messed up, but they also excelled. And that's a good example for us. But there are also some modern people that are like that. If we look at someone like Corrie ten Boom, who was during World War II, her faith grew phenomenally through the things that she went through during that time. There are a lot of heroes of the faith in more modern times as well. We need to tell the kids those stories so they know God's still working. And I want to tell you about this church in Anadarko that went and bought an old Walmart building. And you know what? God turned around in a couple years and they sold that building for 4 times almost what they paid for it. That in itself is a miracle, and you can see that in that building right next door where that money went. So if you want resources on current or recent heroes of the faith, let me know and I will get you some books on it. I have some like 5th grade level now. So that's my encouraging word for you. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you soon, I hope.